Welcome to State of Tech. My name's Jared, and today we're going to take a look at how to use your US-based iPhone in Mexico. Now, I just got done traveling to Mexico, and I didn't do any sort of prep. It was one of those situations where I was very busy leading up to having to get to the airport and leave for this trip, and then I'm in the air, and I was tired, so I just watched a movie. I didn't really do anything on my way down there. But when I got there, I just turned on my phone, powered it back up, because coming into Mexico, they still don't allow you to have your device even powered up. So I powered up my device and it didn't connect to anything. It had no service. And I thought, okay, well, that's probably because I didn't turn on roaming. So I went into the settings and enabled roaming and all of that stuff. Now, the only thing that I had done was actually called my carrier ahead of time and told them that I was going to need service for Mexico. Now, your phone, if you enable roaming, which I'm going to show you how to do here in a second, if you enable roaming, it's going to work down there. You're just going to get charged fees, and you don't want to have to pay those fees, and I'll tell you why in a second. But those fees are going to be more for voice and text and for data. It's just going to be more expensive. But depending on the plan that you have in your carrier, because I'm with at&t and I have a business account, but at&t personal accounts, Verizon, Sprint, all the different carriers are a little bit different in how they handle this. You're going to want to call your carrier and tell them that you're traveling to Mexico and give them the dates that you're going to be there. Because some of them are not going to have any additional fees for you to do this. You just have to enable the access. Some of them are going to have fees, and you're only going to want to pay those fees during the time that you're going to be down there. Like, you don't want this on forever because it's going to be more expensive. Now, with at&t Business and the particular plan that I have, I only had to pay $3.99 additional for the entire month to have international calling and text messaging. And basically what that did is it gave me a discounted rate too. So I'm still going to pay more than I would have paid because I have an unlimited talk and text plan. So I will have to pay a little bit for my calls, but they're going to be discounted because I planned in advance. I paid the $3.99, and I made some calls. I called my wife and kids a couple times a day. I had clients while I was down there that I was calling and talking to, and then I even made a couple of other calls back to the States during some of my downtime. So that probably would have been more than $4, and it was definitely a lot cheaper because of that. Now, you also need to select the option for roaming data as well. And if you're here in the US, we typically get better rates for roaming data for Mexico and Canada, the countries that are connected to ours on our continent here. If you travel, to European countries or anywhere else, it's going to be slightly different, but the rates usually are a little bit better for countries that are connected because it's more likely that we're going to travel to these countries than it is abroad. And so for me, what I did was I enabled that. Now, I enabled that on my main phone. I have a couple of phones. I enabled that on my main phone, and so I was fine. As soon as I got down there, I remembered, okay, I have to enable roaming and all that stuff, and that enabled, and I was able to use voice and data and text message and all that stuff. However, on one of my other phones, I forgot to do that, and I just so happened to need to tether my laptop to that phone. Now, I thought that I had made the change to my whole account. I didn't know that I had to make it on a per phone basis. So what ended up happening is within a minute of tethering from my laptop, using data from my phone on my laptop, I had a text message saying that I just used $100 in data. Now that freaked me out because that was fast. I didn't do much other than send an email and refresh a browser page, and I was already at $100 in used data. So I called at&t and got it sorted out. They said that they didn't make the change to the entire account. They only made it to the single line. They updated it. I don't have to pay the $100, but nonetheless, it was scary for a moment. So make sure that you check with your provider and make sure if you have multiple lines, if husband and wife and both of you are going and you're both on the same account, or your kids are on the account or whatnot, make sure that the change has been made for the entire account and not just for one specific line. Now let's talk about how to go and enable these features in the iPhone. So you're going to need to go to your settings application, and then towards the top, you can see where it says cellular. Now, cellular data options, it says roaming off, and I can enable LTE and data roaming. So enable LTE, it says voice and data, that's fine. And then data roaming, I can go ahead and enable that. And then that's going to enable data roaming. Now, this enables data roaming anywhere, even if you are in some weird part of the United States where there isn't coverage for your carrier and you end up roaming into another carrier's area. Data roaming will take over at that point, and you will connect. Maybe it's not the same everywhere, but you may connect to their data. It works differently for all the different carriers. It still may not work, but definitely internationally you end up roaming. And so this is where you want to be careful. You want to make sure that you've done whatever you needed to do with your carrier to make sure that you have access to that roaming. Now, and like I said before, depending on what your carrier and the plan that you have offers, you may either get to pull from your regular data, maybe if you're lucky, or you may pay a different rate, a better rate, because you called ahead, because you let them know, but you get to pay a better rate on that data, which is what happened to me. Because I called, I got a much better discounted rate. Now, come to find out, if my account was a personal account instead of a business account, I would have had even better rates. But, this country loves to stick it to the businesses, especially the small businesses. So if you switch over to a business account or something like that, your rates just aren't going to be as good. My experiences are only with at&t though, so who knows with the other carriers. The main point of this video was just, so that I can show you what you need to do to your phone before you go down to Mexico. And then also the main important one is so that you don't end up with a bunch of crazy charges that you didn't know that you were going to get, because you would think when you could turn on roaming, and roaming used to be a big negative word back in the day before smartphones, and now roaming has been a little bit different. We don't roam inside the United States really anymore, and so when it comes to going to another country, you want to make sure that things are set up properly, not only with your phone, but your account. So thanks so much for checking out this video. Click the thumbs up button if you liked it, and make sure to subscribe to our channel here so that you can get updates when we post new videos. And we hope to have you back here soon on State of Tech, so click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.